こんにちは。依頼を。私別に。なんや腹立つけど。そない。
まあいっか。君はなんか頑丈そうだし。なあ、オッケーオッケー。誰をバディに選ぶかは当人の自由ってやつだし。それよりどう見ても腕利きのプロに見えないのが問題じゃんね。インターネットで適当に依頼出したのやっぱまずかった。プロ騎士君があの魔王にチクったらどうしよう。
あんな、うちアリアちゃんとはもうそうなの。でももし信用できなかったら。
そうやっぱそうじゃん。時間ないんだって。いいよもう君言っとくけど私めっちゃいい依頼人だからね。でさ、君らちょっとだけ経歴を持っといてくんない？こういう
盛る？
そう激ヤバな依頼を片っ端から受けまくって頭が硬い05フォローとかニネベとか宮妻とかその辺のうっすらそんな気はしてた。まあ依頼は依頼だし。シーシアさん、シーシアさん何の話？いやプロ騎士君ってば見てアリアに自夏じゃん。なんだ知り合いだったんだ。はいこれシグナルを追っかけるやつね。君ら
Yeah, she's not coming in with us. What the fuck?
シーシアさんは一緒に来ないの？足が行くわけないっしょ。足はあくまでグレーンってこと。フォローに入っ
Which of course is like makes no sense, right? Because that's what a proxy is supposed to be, right? I thought the idea is that most proxies don't go. Maybe they do go in themselves. Because I think we're the weird ones in that we can use our Bangbu because of our like eyes. We can replace our Bangbu senses. So maybe normal proxies actually go in, and we were just weird because we could use a Bangbu. Seems really suspicious. Oh, I see. So is you actually like really rich? Did she come from a really wealthy family and then she just kind of has been slumming it with these two to perform while doing the band stuff? Like, she could just be incredibly lucky, and she actually did win the lottery. But obviously, considering their age, it's far more likely she's just from a wealthy family. And she's just been hiding her background and secretly contributing her family's wealth to the band. Let's do it. I still haven't done my dailies and stuff. I can do that afterwards. Dailies take like no time at all to do anyway.
ってくれるの？
Wait, why did they say the opposite? Like, no, like it isn't the opposite. Proxies are basically guides. It's like, yes, the people who go with the proxy should be protecting the proxy. You know, they like everyone who is not the proxy is the muscle, right? Everyone who is not the proxy is the people there to fight and protect the entire party. The proxy, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are proxies that can fight, right? Proxies who can not only be proxies, but the idea is that like they should be focusing on guiding people and finding the correct route, so that you know you can do what you need to do. So they shouldn't be distracted by fighting. So I do think it's kind of weird. Yeah, like I do think it's kind of weird that she's like, no, I should be protecting you. It's like, what? No, like they can fight, you can't. Like that's the silly thing too. It's like they look so weak, dude. You literally can't fight. Like you are the weakest out of all of them.
了解しました。追加の現在適用中の音声パックは親切なアシスタントです。変更をご承認。
ちょっと待って。なんか
さすがは凄腕のプロ棋士やで。
ちょっと簡単には説明できないんだけど。まずは広い。
I mean, it's kind of hard to explain on the spot. It's also completely unneeded to explain on the spot. Like, this isn't necessary. Oh wow. That's cool looking. So she's. Oh. Yeah, Suna's the support. So is Arya the attacker? I would assume she is, which is good. That means because I don't really like her design wise. Oh, interesting. A bloom. So wait, is he an anomaly then? A bloom is usually an anomaly thing.
私に任せて。店長さん。私が変な
Oh, that's kind of annoying.
曲がらないでいてくれる？リオ、どうか。こんなのどうかな？バトンタッチだね。見てください。これが本当のアリアです。
Yeah, it's not really cute. Honestly, the four ponytail thing looks so fucking stupid, and it looks even worse on a robot, when they're even bigger and more obvious. I mean, and that's the thing is that like on a human, four ponytails look stupid, right? She would be fine with just the two bottom ones. But like even on this one, like this the way the hair ponytails look in robot form looks so dumb that even the bottom one look just too big and bulky and dumb. Which obviously makes the top ones even worse because it's like, yeah, they were already bad when they were less obvious and smaller. So obviously when each ponytail is now like the size of a human forearm, they look even stupider. Combined with making the bottom ones look ungainly and dumb too.
うちの言うと、だってアリアはみんなが。
そういうことなら
It's also silly too, because like there are, like I understand if like machine contracts or intelligent contracts were like unheard of, right? If it was like, oh my god, like, but like, no, like, we see them all the time, right? Like, there's one in pubs, we know in one in PubSec. There's literally one across the street of our video store who handles the music shop. You know, like, they're all over the place. You know, the world is like rife with Bangbu, which are just kind of like a low-level form of intelligent constructs. So, like, the world has them all over the place. I mean, I do get it though. Like, what she's trying to do is she's, you know, basically joined a girl band. So maybe that's always thought as more of a human thing. You know, maybe there haven't been robot musicians before. So maybe she's breaking into the industry that way, and which, you know, leads to her to be insecure. But
誰も見てへんのをいいことにインターノ待ってください。
アリアも言ってたよね。みんな誰だってちょっとした秘密くらいあるって。知能構造体の女の子が歌って踊れる美少女。
Well, not exactly. I think an intelligent construct performing would be fine, right? The fact that you're putting up an illusion, like the fact that you're putting up a projection, does mean by definition that you are lying, right? You are deceiving your audience. That's not who you really are. The real you is this. So by putting up a projection, you are fooling your audience. I think that and that's the only thing. Like, it's fine to be an intelligent construct, right? The problem comes from the lying part of it, right? Where you're pretending to be something you're not. Now, you know, you could argue that pretty much all performers are pretending to be something they're not to some degree, right? You know, or at least not fully expressing who they are as a person. Because like you see those like actors or musicians who, you know, are really popular, but like then you hear behind the scenes that they're actually terrible people or like jerks or divas or whatever like that. You know, clearly that persona wasn't known to the world when their music was becoming popular, and then, you know, sometimes it's enough to make them fall out of popularity, but sometimes not. You know, like Kanye still has a fan base despite his crazy, insane comments. So, you know, sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. But still, I mean, lying is just generally not good. And you definitely will lose fans because of it. Like, if she had gone... It's one of these tough things, because like if she had gone out right from the start as a robot, they might have not gotten some of the fans they did. But it's also possible that the fans they did get by her pretending, they would instantly lose once she stopped pretending, in which case you're just better off to, you know, go out and be truthful from the start, so that you're only getting the fans that would stick with you even knowing that you're a robot, you know?
それにアリアが超優秀な知能構造体だからこそ助かってることもいっぱいあるんだから。さ、シグナルの発信源を見つけ。
See, like, her ponytails look smaller. The bottom ones actually look bigger than the top ones, which is good. But the top ones, yeah, are smaller in volume because they just look fucking stupid. Like, God, they're dumb. Oh, even though it's not a shortcut, even though you can't see the shortcut there. Actually, no, maybe it was on the top bar. Okay, so she is an anomaly then. Can I see what she looks like? Yeah, switch. Oh, okay. So she is an anomaly. Okay, so that's why she does a bloom. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, generally though, it's like shit. If she's an anomaly, that's actually really good. Because like, I don't think there's ever really been a bad anomaly agent. Oh, okay. I was gonna say
ごめん、うちのせいや。
it was sooner. I'm like, wait,
大
what?
丈夫。私たちならなんとかできるよ。そのまま登場。一緒に世界で一番のステージにしちゃおう。ウィーク。
I mean, that's actually pretty good.
いいおまけになっちゃった。
That's actually a really good attack because it basically puts her out of harm's way. It puts her out of harm's way while she's doing the ground pound. She continuously does them. It's an AoE, which is obviously a good thing. So, being an AoE is incredibly useful. It's incredibly helpful. And generally, like, all
もしかしてこの子が
all anomaly agents have always been, like, good, right? Like, attackers were always kind of shit. You know, Ellen was just never really that good. She was just the only S rank we had, so we're like, the only mainline S rank attacker we had, so we're like, okay, we'll just use her. But they were just super weak, and then, like, Zhuan appeared, she was kind of shit, too. She's, like, really hard to use, damage is kind of crap. Horrible party members to... Because you need, like, Nicole. But the problem is Nicole's, like, debuff is so fucking short, you only get, like, 1 or 2 attacks. So it's like you only get 1 or 2 power attacks from Zhuan, and then you're done. And you have to, like, recycle. It's like, man, it's rough. And then they had Jane, an anomaly, an S-rank anomaly master, which is, like, the first time I think we've had one. And she was fucking insane. She was insanely strong. And then we got Miyabi and Yanagi, and they were like, holy shit, they're even better. And so it's just, like, anomaly mastery units just blew the fucking attacking units out of the water. They were just, like, so much better. Like, attacking units are just absolute trash compared to them. Like, even though we've had some good ones, like, Evelyn's decent, right? But, like, even still, like, Evelyn is much more complicated to use, and it feels like she isn't as powerful anyway. You know, it feels like you just have a much easier time being Jane, Miyabi, Alice, like, and then, you know, the Alice Anomaly Mastery team showed up. Or it's just all Anomaly Mastery and support. 2 Anomaly Mastery and 1 support. No heals, no stun, just all Anomaly Mastery. So it's just like, yeah, like, the Anomaly Mastery teams feel fun to play. And, like, yeah, Arya's playstyle seemed pretty fun, too, you know? Where it's like, I was actually concerned, because, like, there was that time when she was attacking normally, and, I was holding the charge button, and she was, like, just standing in place, charging up that, like, pink form, and then started attacking. I'm like, that... If she has to do that every single time, that actually kind of sucks. Because, like, having to be stuck in place for a few seconds in any fight is just really rough. Because it just makes you way too vulnerable, and it's just like, those are the moments when the enemies are going to attack, and you're going to want to dodge or parry out of the way, which will then interrupt what you're trying to do, and undo it. So... the fact that you can go in and just continue holding it down after you've already started your attack to use up that fandom gauge, and then just continue your spinny plunge attack is actually really convenient, because it's like, oh, cool, so you can actually just keep attacking, or you can go from a skill, just holding it down once you've started your attack, to just consume fan gauge to continue it. And it keeps you out of the range, because you're bouncing pretty high. So it keeps you out of the range of regular mobs. It's an AoE when you land, so you will still mop up the regular mobs while you're attacking a boss or something. So that's pretty cool. So I'm curious. So I think Nangong Yu must be a stun unit, because I think she had, like, those little Chinese drumsticks. The Chinese, like, hammers, basically. The balls on a stick. That seems very stun-like, so it could be the 3 of them are stun, anomaly, mastery, and support. But yeah, her playstyle is more fun than I was expecting. I don't know, it's tempting to get her. Because it's like, it's tempting to get her. Because I already have Suna. Because I was like, okay, she's a support, and she seems like a useful support. And support generally are really helpful to have. Especially if you can, like, match elements. I did see that she could do Aether Veil, so I was like, oh, okay, cool, she can do Aether Veil. So she might be a good pairing with, oh, here we are. She might be a good pairing with, Xiao Guang, and I tried using her in a team with Xiao Guang, and I'm like, oh, she's actually not that good. I'm not really seeing stuff trigger as much as I want, because she pairs with an attack or anomaly units. But the problem is Xiao Guang isn't an attack or anomaly. I believe she counts as a stun. At least she counts as sorry, not a stun, a rupture unit. Oh, it's this place. Okay. I believe she counts as a rupture unit. And so the problem with that is that rupture doesn't count as either attack or anomaly, so I don't think she wasn't really triggering Suna's ability, so it's like, shit. So I thought she'd be a good pairing because she can do Aether Veil, which will buff Xiao Guang. Xiao Guang gets extra crit damage buffs, I think, when Aether Veil is active. But if Xiao Guang can't trigger Aether Veil because she's not an attack or anomaly unit, then I have a problem. Because they were both physical. I'm like, oh, cool. Being able to trigger Aether Veil as a physical unit. So obviously if I'm going to be using Xiao Guang, it's going to be against bosses that are weak to physical. And it's like, nah, sorry. So that is unfortunate. Doesn't seem to work well. I mean, there are probably going to be other units too. Like, there are other attack units. There are other anomaly. I mean, I could throw her in with, like... I could throw her in with Jane or Miyabi or something like that. Probably not, though, because Astra is way too good a team member for Miyabi and Yanagi, because it allows them to swap back and forth really well, which is really helpful for them, because their team really works well with that. I could... Like, I have Caesar with Bernice and Jane. That's a pretty good pairing, because Caesar gives a buff, and I think a shield, too. It's definitely helpful. So I could replace her with Suna, maybe. But then I just wouldn't have that buff. Although she does provide her own buff, so she does provide an attack buff. So maybe she's better than Caesar, but then Caesar's shield is kind of useful. But then again, Caesar is kind of annoying to deal with. So... Oh, the two of them are attacking. Oh, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool when she does her ground. Hey, look at that. Oh, I see. That's her. That's the physical representation of her gauge. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many does her gauge have? I think that's 8, right? Yeah. So she absorbs these little guys when she does her. When she does her thing. Oh, that's pretty funny. But yeah, I did also see that Suna was in as part of her party in the ground stomp that she was doing. I'm actually really curious if I have you in our party. Presumably all three of them are going to be doing the ground stomp, and I'm kind of curious if is it purely just an aesthetic thing, or does it actually do more damage if you have them in your party? Like, I would understand if it didn't, because that would be kind of like super pay to win, where it's like, oh yeah, if you have. I mean, that's pretty funny. I don't know. I might get Arya. I could. That is kind of a cute team. I'm curious to see how they all pair with you as well.
来ないでアリアちゃん。存在価値のないキャラクターのくせに私の友達を傷つけないで。アリアちゃん、アリアちゃん。いや、あんたはあんな子ちゃう。
危ない。千夏、今は戦いに集中しよう。
システムシャットダウン。
Honestly, their playstyle does feel pretty fun, and it flows well with each other. Oh, that's interesting. So was she designed as a killbot? She designed as a killbot, and then she developed intelligence? Because, like, there is a difference between actual intelligent constructs and robots. Like, there are robots, because, like, Bangbus are considered robots, not intelligent constructs. So there are ones that, like, purely operate under a logic, like, they clearly have their own AI, but it's, like, not self-aware type shit. So it's, like, it's the difference between a self-aware AI and a non-self-aware AI. So Bangbus are non-self-aware AI. They have a certain level of AI, but they aren't self-aware. They're just following their protocol, following their programming. And so presumably Arya wasn't designed based on the fact that these were identical copies. Presumably she wasn't designed to have self-awareness, but she did develop it. And then when she developed it, she went off and did her own thing, applied for citizenship, and got it, right? And then painted herself pink. Maybe as a sign of individuality, or maybe she just likes pink, who knows? And so presumably those robots were what she was designed to do, which is be a killbot, I guess. I don't know, like, a contract with nothing but, so it's like, were they designed to have hostile instincts, or did they go crazy? Or are they just that? They are battle bots, and she just developed self-awareness and left. I do think that is kind of dumb, though, right? Where she's like, the happiness I stole from, it's like, you didn't steal happiness. Like, how did you steal happiness? How does you being happy have anything to do with them, right? Like, you could argue because she developed self-awareness and left, it could be that they shut down the project, right? They're like, yeah, we had this BattleBot program in place, but the second one of them developed awareness, they're like, oh fuck, we gotta shut this down, right? What if they all become self-aware? There might be a problem with our programming that allows them to be self-aware, and if all of them become self-aware, and the problem, of course, with that is that if they become self-aware, they can become citizens, right? They can apply to become citizens, and then you can't just use them as tools anymore because they should be treated with human rights, right? So, obviously, when you're trying to create them as machines of war, it's basically the equivalent of them, like, unionizing, right? You're just like, yeah, I wanted to treat them unfairly and treat them as slaves, but they went ahead and unionized, and so now I have to treat them like normally, and I'm not going to be able to recoup the costs of their development and production and all that shit. Could be something like that. Or at the very least, it's not going to be as profitable, right? The fact that you can't use them as tools means that you can't send them in incredibly difficult situations because they themselves might refuse. And then there's the cost of upkeep and all that shit, which that combined with actually having to pay them and might just be too much.
さっきの知能構造体、フォローに長くいすぎ治安局が探してた AI は捕まえられなかったけど、あれが発信源だったのは間違いないし、それに操ってるボディがなくなったらどんな AI？
アリア。
あの子たちは お尋ね者の AI に操られて人を襲うようになっちゃった構造体だよ。ボロボロだったし、ここで随分眠ってたの。私たちの友達で妄想エンジェルのメインボーカルで、明るくて可愛いアリアとは全然違う。
And at the end of the day, you know, it's what you do, right? That matters. You are a nice girl who is trying to become a singer. These are robots lurking in a mine who attacked people on sight. Like, yes, their actions are bad. Your actions are good. It is just that simple. You know? Just like I mean, since you consider robots as a species to a degree, it's like, just how there are bad humans, and a human, you know, just because there are serial murderers doesn't make all humans serial murderers, right? Just because a human does something bad doesn't mean, oh, we have to feel guilty because this person did a bad thing, right? You only have to feel guilty about any actions you did, right? I can understand you might feel guilty if a serial murderer comes to your bed and breakfast and you let them stay the night, and maybe even, you know, give them a free meal because you thought they were just a poor, unfortunate soul. You're like, oh my god, like, this guy looks so exhausted and tired. Sure, I'll let them stay the night and feed them a nice meal, and let's say in this argument you don't get killed, and they just leave, right? Serial murderers leaves, and then the cops, you know, who were tracking him find your bed and breakfast, and they're like, dude, that was a serial murderer. And, like, in the time, like, since he left, the serial murderer kills again, right? I understand you could feel guilty, because you're like, obviously it's no way related to you, them doing whatever they did, but it's like, shit, you helped the serial murderer to a small degree, so I can understand a certain level of guilt, because, like, it's the action you did. Even if it's not your fault that he killed, right? Serial murderer did what he did. It's his responsibility. But at least there's an action you did, right? You shouldn't feel guilty for other people's actions. It is dumb. Guilt should only be because of actions you yourself have done. Unless it's your child, right? Then you can feel guilty for their actions, because your actions indirectly cause them to be whatever the fuck they are, right? You know, if you have a child who's a serial murderer, it's very unlikely that your behavior was no factor in that, right? Now, there are rare cases where it's not, right? They could have just been born. They could have been just born with a propensity for murder, and you might have been the best, most caring household in the world, but they were just born evil, right? Sure, that happens. But I would say it's far more likely that they weren't born with a propensity for evil, and due to your negligent or aggressive or otherwise douchey actions as a parent, had them tilt in that direction. At the end of the day, it's still their responsibility for the actions they did. Well, especially as an adult. Like, as a child, I would say it's definitely more your responsibility as a parent. But if they're like 25 and they go out and start killing people, it's like, sure, maybe you raised them poorly. Maybe you instilled the wrong values. Maybe just the way you tried to teach them was wrong or poor. But as an adult, it's still mostly on them. Unless, like, it was found out that you, like, literally trained them to be a murderer as a child. Like, ugh. But again, it's just as unlikely as them being just a born sociopath, right? A born sociopath who was going to murder no matter how good. Like, you know, like Hannibal Lecter. It's like, yeah, but even with the nicest, best parents, best supportive parents, right? Just even with a perfect environment, you know, a quote-unquote perfect environment, still go out in there and kill, right? Like, yes, there are people like that, but it's super, super rare. It's more the exception than the rule.
型番が一緒だからって存在まで同じわけないでしょ。信じられないならコフカフェのマスターに同じこと言ってみたらいいよ。アリエがこれから。
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I forgot about Tin Master. Yeah, so Tin Master is an intelligent construct. So, I mean, right by our shop, then, we have... Actually, no, we have three. We have three robots right by our... No, actually, no, I guess Chop Chop isn't a robot. He has robot arms, but he's whatever he is. he's some sort of species. I don't think he's a full robot. I think he just has robotic arms. But yeah, so we have the music. We have the Bardic Needle Shop, which is owned by an intelligent construct. The coffee shop, which is two stops over, past Chop Shop, is also owned by an intelligent construct. So like, yeah, they're all over the place. Yeah, I mean, like, even if it's like the same model, even if you want to say it's like your brother, right? Like, if your brother kills someone, does that make you like, does that make you a killer? No. Your brother, sure, you both have the same parents, you know, made by the same people, but you're not responsible for your brother's actions.
経験やら考え方やら、もしアリアちゃんがあの子たちと同じパーツ使ってるか、ユウやアリアちゃんと違って翼も生えとらんのにエンジェルを自称しとるただの人間がいるって思い出してほしいもんやな。
Wait, what? Because this is implying that Nangong has wings, like actual wings. So is Nangong a Thyran? Like a bird Thyran of some sort? Because, like, Arya has a projection, so she can just project whatever the fuck she wants, right? And, I mean, she's also a robot, so she could literally install wings on her back if she wanted to. But Arya is special, but she's trying to imply that Nangong actually has wings, because if she's just, you know, an ordinary human like her who doesn't have wings, so she's clearly saying she doesn't have wings, but then she's also by, you know, implying that the two of them do. And Arya can be kind of thrown out because it's like, yeah, she's a robot. She could install wings, or she could just make her projection have wings. Problem solved. But Nangong looked like a normal human. So why the fuck are you? Why are you implying she actually has wings? Is she actually an angel?
いいや、うちはアリアちゃんに立派な
千夏の言う通りだよ。っていうか、千夏から
血の構造体は千夏ちゃんが確かに血がつながってて見た目が似てる人でも違う生き方を選べても血の構造体は違うんです。
I mean, to a degree, she is correct, right? And the intelligent constructs are robots of the same model are not exactly like biological creatures, right? Even if you and your brother, have the same parents, genetically, while you are very similar, you're not identical, right? This would be like clones or twins, like identical twins. This would be like your identical twin goes out and kills somebody, but then it's like, well, even if your identical twin turns out to be an asshole, it doesn't make you an asshole, right? It just, machines are even more identical. Actually, no, I think identical twins actually is the best argument, because genetically you are identical to your twin. Now, you just by having an identical twin, you are going to act differently, right? Because you have a sounding board to go off of, right? So it'd be one thing if you took two identical twins. It's a tough situation to try to test, right? Because like, if you take two identical twins and you put them in different families, now you have different families raising them, which will obviously make them behave differently. But if you leave them in the same family, with the same parents raising them, the fact that they exist with each other is going to makes them more likely to want to distinguish themselves. Like, you could have the ones that, like, the identical twins that try to mimic themselves, you know, try to act the same. But then you also have the ones that were like, well, because everyone thinks we look the same, we're going to intentionally act differently. Well, I mean, it'll subtly change our impression. And then, of course, even still, you know, even though you're identical twins, you could have different friends, right? So, but I would say it's the best analogy, where it's like, yes, technically, genetically, you are identical. Same for these constructs. It's like, yes, you are made with the same components. You are made with the same programming core. Oh. So they all went into dormancy. I thought... How old is she? Were they created for the catastrophe? Were they created as a result of the catastrophe? After the catastrophe 11 years ago, was this line of robots created to, like, maybe protect humanity, or... whatever.
きっとフォローに長いそんなごめんなさい店長さん一番近いで
But I do get it, right? Because they are the same model. They're made with the same parts to a degree. Obviously, there's going to be some variance in parts, and that could just be why she has why she developed self-awareness. Maybe in the chipset that was made. Maybe in the chipset that was made for her. Maybe they fucked up and they added an extra branching path into the circuit, which allowed logic that they weren't expecting. So it's hard to prove, obviously. Was there a mistake in her production that led to her being able to develop self-awareness? Is it just something that can happen to all machines? Can all AI develop self-awareness just under the right circumstances? Hard to say, obviously. This is a fake world where we really haven't delved into that too much. So it's hard to say, how it happened. And even if it's possible, is it possible to develop intentionally, right? Are they developing robots with self-awareness right from the get-go, right? Are they able to create self-aware robots? Or is this something that they were just creating robots with AI and they develop? There's an AI, kind of like Isaac Asimov's positronic brain. Are we just developing robots with positronic brains and some of them become self-aware? And so we just recognize them as citizens? Or, so is it basically giving them the positronic brain doesn't make them self-aware, but all positronic brains have the potential to become self-aware, right? Is it something like that? Or are we actually, is there technology at the level where it's no, they literally can create AI that are self-aware right from the get-go, right? Are they able to create self-aware AI, or is it just kind of a mistake to a degree? So does it accidentally happen from time to time? So we don't know the answers to those questions because we would need a computer engineer or whatever to ask those kind of questions. Because the very fact that Arya is self-aware but none of the other robots were kind of makes it seem like it's more of an accident. But is this an accident in her case? And and this could just be an accident. Because it could just be that her line of robots was never meant to be self-aware, but it still just accidentally can happen regardless. But then we don't know if you can actually just make self-aware robots. Is Ching Yi in the PubSec? Well, she seems self-aware, but maybe she's not, right? Maybe she does seem self-aware. She does seem more human, so maybe she is self-aware. So was she designed from the start to become self-aware? When she created, she was self-aware right from the get-go, or was this they just created a police bot, and then when she became self-aware, she was like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna then move you to this department instead. Then, yeah, hard to say.
こんな時間だし、師匠たちはもう寝てるかな。
He kind of cares what Vanya is here, right? He's not really part of the Svivian Temple. I don't think so, right? He's not. I don't think he's part of the Svivian Temple, especially now because I think he was requisitioned. He was sent to Krampus. I think he works for Krampus now.
万学先生。先生も
お主か。
Oh, okay, so he's here for that. So yeah, so he's not normally here, as I thought. He is a Krampus worker.
ぜひにと招
He just is here for the event.
今宵はすでに満腹ゆえ、こう。さあ、お主らは手をつけるとよい。案ずるな。
蓄光電。
我が輩の目に狂いがなければ。わらべよ、お主はな。
確か。
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it makes sense that he would be aware of it, right? It's like,
欲がごとし。
other robots should be able to, because other robots have senses that we might just not even be aware of, right? Especially this guy. He's a combat robot, so I imagine his perception is insanely high because he has to be, aware of a lot of combat situations. So him being able to pierce through her illusion. Plus, like, it's a projection, but like, wouldn't her feet kind of give it away? It's metal feet on stone. Like, wouldn't the sound of that be pretty obvious? Like, it's not like she has, like, I mean, I guess she could have rubber-soled feet bottoms or something, but even still, like, I can't imagine her weight as a robot is the same as her weight, her projection's weight. Like, her projection looks like she's, like, 90 pounds or something like that, right? So, but I can't imagine a robot like this is 90 pounds. Unless maybe there's, like, metals that are, like, much lighter. So that her robot form, but, like, you would expect a robot like this would be, like, 200 pounds. So just even if the bottom of her robot feet are, like, rubber soled to mimic shoes, like normal shoes, the fact that it's just 200 pounds hitting the ground would sound different than a 90-pound thing, especially because, like, her feet are, like, basically pointed. So it would just be concentrating more force into a smaller area, which would definitely change the sound of her footsteps as well, which Banyu, I would assume, be able to tell.
越し方の過ちは路傍の石となり、己だけでなく、共に行く者たちの足をも止めるだろう。どうやら、お主も越し方。
そう。
我が輩はかつて道を誤り、我が身が追縁とする寸前に至って、ようやく罪の一辺をあが。
店長さんにはまだ言ってなかったですよね。目を覚ますきっかけになったのは、ある日ホローレーダーなんとかホローを出て新エリートに来て。
Yeah, so that is the interesting thing, right? Like, so she was chilling, she was hyper, like, but how did she wake up, right? And, like, why did you wake up and no one else did? And, like, why were you hibernating to begin with, right? Like, why didn't you wake up at all before? Although maybe you just needed an external stimulus. Or, like, maybe they were in pods or something, and your pod had already broken out, and so you just needed a stimulus to wake up, and maybe that was it. Ah, I see. So that's why she was able to be Cersei's voice double during at least one of her albums. At least she intentionally tried to sound like her.
しばらくしてセルシー様のマネージャーさんがやがてセルシー様が引退された後は歌うことが好きなだけの平凡なアリアに戻って今度はとある弱小事務
Well, she was an idol agency though, even then.
ごめんなさい。
私聞き入っちゃった。何を今更って感じかもしれないけど。はい。
短い。
どういうこと？もう
万学さん、アリアが過去を引きずったあのボロボロの仲間たち、それに思考モジュールも不安だからあんな怪物にならないためにもゆうちゃんと千夏ちゃんを
待たれよ。いささか誤解。
一回落ち着こう。アリア、 大して話し合った
Also, it is kind of weird. We're like, I'm going to quit them for a bit, or well, then just don't quit them. Just go and leave. Like, you don't have to quit, right? It's like going to your job and saying, I'm quitting because I need a 2-week break while I deal with some things. You know, it's like, well, you could just go on vacation for 2 weeks and then come back.
そうでもアリア自分で解決できますからあくまでそうなってもちゃんと店長なんや休暇ってことか
アリア、口ではああ言ってるけど、あんまり気持ちの整理がついてるようには見えないっていうか。
Well, yeah, but like...
そうだ、アリア。決めちゃう前に
店長さんの言う通りですね。千夏ちゃんの願いの妖精さん、アリア、また昔のことを思い出しちゃって。
よし、あとは今まで通り願いの妖精がアリアを励ましてくれたら。
No, I bet this thing is... I bet this thing is the intelligent entity we're looking for.
友情と愛なんて新エリートの皆さんが一番だから先に些細なエラーを。
私の聞き
No, I mean,
間違
like,
いかな。
technically what this thing said is very good sound advice, right? Is that... Because basically what you want her to do is ignore her problems. Like, she feels something's wrong with her. She feels old memories are coming back, and she's worried about affecting her friends, and you're just like, well, just ignore that. Just ignore that and continue doing what you're doing. It's like, well, ignoring a problem doesn't always fix the problem. Sometimes it does. Sometimes ignoring it just makes it go away for one reason or another. But, like, if she has the means to address it, then yeah, sure, go address the problem, you know, fix the anomaly, and then come back, right? Like, because, like, yeah, you're ignoring the whole... You're just saying... Because basically, what Ban Yu and what you're trying to say is that don't worry about your past self. Just ignore it, right? Just ignore it. It doesn't matter. But it's like, well, yeah, but, like, this is something that's going to weigh on her for the rest of her life if she doesn't deal with it, right? Because no matter what happens, she'll always remember the time when shit happened, right? And she'll always remember, oh man, last time I met these constructs. And then she could have another relapse if she ever meets those similar constructs again, right? So it's like, just ignoring it and trying to pretend you're past it, you know? And like Ban Yu himself, you know, went and confronted his problems. I mean, he did try to run away by just letting himself die, but he just still confronted his problems at the end of the day. Running away is not the way to do it.
やっぱり妖精さんはいろいろ考えてくれてるんですね。じゃあ、うわあ、アリアちゃん、それは話が全部うちら3人で初ライブを
聞いてた願いの妖精と随分違うじゃん。千夏の言う通りだよ、アリア。もちろん最後に決めるのはアリアだと思うけど。
店長さん、よう言うた。はい。そう。
Nah, I bet she's gonna leave. I bet we're gonna go to sleep, we're gonna wake up, and she's gonna be gone.
待たれよ。Aフォロー高知能戦術構造体
万学先生？
アリア殿の型式番号である。彼女の言葉の端々に
なんちゃら型はよくわかんなかったけど、戦術構
しかり彼女らは休日に秀で幻の姿でもって敵を惑わすことをアリア殿に取り、今の境遇はかつての日々とあまりにかけ離れたものとも。
そうだったんだわ。
Which, I mean, does make sense, because when she does her ultimate, she actually does pull out a bow and start shooting with that. And, like, Legion, like, archer, like, having a shitload of archers was definitely useful in battle. You know? Like, back in the olden days, in the medieval days, yeah. Like, if you had a line of archers behind your infantrymen, you could kill a ton of their infantrymen before they even show up towards yours and save yourself a lot of time. So, definitely useful. And having ranged attackers is always good, right? So you could have 8 units like on you up front to attack while being sniped from behind. I mean, hell, they're basically the equivalent of modern day snipers, like archers. Archery has just evolved into sniping, and that's when we already have Trigger, who is a sniper. So it's like, yeah, that's basically what it is. But rather than just one sniper, because like snipers are good for like killing one strong unit at a time, whereas like a legion of archers could then just decimate lots of little enemies while also protecting their frontline units.
構造体の精神が動揺するとき、論理コアの守りもまた手薄となる。
じゃあアリアは今すっごく無防備な。
むしろ座して構えているが、アリア殿の精神は赤子のごとく無垢なれど。
分かったよ、万学先生。
Well, it's also like she was discarded, and she said, in her memory, she remembers. So presumably, she remembers being on the battlefield, which I think is the malice, just the raw malice of a battlefield, right? Like, I'm not sure if she was around during the catastrophe 11 years ago when it was a real shitstorm, or if they were developed after that, and they were a unit designed to kind of like mop up the remnants and try to retake the city after the catastrophe 11 years ago, or if they were actually on the front lines during it. Either way, though, they would have seen some shit.
必要そうな時は千夏と優にも手伝ってもらえばいいんだからね。
Semduck says that we're gonna go to sleep and she's gonna be gone.
休む前に。
Oh, is she already gone?
挨拶しに行こう。
Okay, maybe not.
そんな春光ちゃん。
師匠や先輩たちに、それにこの間の叙勲式も大掛かりだったけど。
わかりました。
I mean, true, she did become a Void Hunter, but she only just became a Void Hunter. So I imagine she'd still feel a little out of place,
この間の大掃除で綺麗にした部屋で休ん
standing
でもらってました。
toe to toe with, her Shifu, who has been a Void Hunter for a while, and has a lot of accomplishments under her belt in the meantime.
あんまり良くはないかな。でもアリアのことは。
そうなんですか。
お友達ってあの血の。
そうですよ。
部外者の私が見てても。
でも確かなんたって春光先輩は新エリートで最新の大々的に行くわけじゃなくてこっそりでいいの。
私なんかが。
いいんじゃないか。100円からも連絡が来たが。
I find that weird, though. Like, buried in paperwork. For what, though? Like, what paperwork are you making your Void Hunters do? Like, that's the weird thing, right? Like, these are the strongest fighters that your city has. Why are they not doing something, right? Why are you making them do paperwork? Like, literally anyone can do paperwork. You can train... Just get some more bureaucrats, get some more civil service agents working on the paperwork. Why the fuck are you making your best fighters do paperwork, right? Like, I understand that they're doing nothing, sure. Like, I imagine there's not that many situations where you need a Void Hunter. So, but regardless, it seems that bogging them down with paperwork is dumb. Because you're just going to make them busy and exhausted doing something that's unrelated to their actual job. So that they might not be ready when the time comes. Like, you'd think you'd want your Void Hunters kind of like constantly training to keep their blade razor sharp versus like dulling them with a mountain of paperwork. Like, I imagine there's some initial paperwork when she first becomes like, yeah, sure, you got to get your approvals and licenses to do all the things you need, and then once that's all submitted, you should be good. But like, it is kind of weird that they're like, oh no, if you stay here, they're gonna just dump more paperwork on you. I'm like, what? Like, why are you dumping paperwork on fighters?
で でも黄金の日だし。
ここには私がいるんだぞ。
そうですよ。お師匠様。
Plus, if you have any duties, we'll just come and get you. It's not like the end of the world. If there is a situation, we can just call you and say, hey, can you come back?
それに、うつろ狩りになってからというもの、最近のスポットライトは春光ちゃんが一人
もう、わかったって。
Oh, okay. I thought... whatever. Okay, but yeah. So my bet is that she's going to be on. Oh, no, she's there. Holy shit, I was wrong. Okay. I was going to... See, my bet was that, like... Something was... It's like, she was either going to consult with the Wishing Sprite or her Logicore would loosen even more and be like, no, I'll quickly resolve it tonight. You get us all done, and then we can do our thing. Huh. Okay, so I'm actually a little curious. Are we going to resolve this today? Or in this patch? Because I could also see that maybe we're not even going to do it this patch. You know, maybe... Like, we could resolve it in the next... Well, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine that, yeah, I mean, like... Oh, wait, actually, no, I need more of these. Oh, I need my coffee. Shit. Yeah, so I was kind of thinking that maybe... Yeah, I mean, it seems unlikely they wouldn't resolve this issue, so we're going to resolve it somehow. And then the finale of this quest is going to be their concert. What the fuck is... Presumably that's what it's going to be. Let me get my coffee. Okay, so I was at 175. I don't know. I guess I'll just get the espresso. Just because I'm nowhere near an even... Because I spend stuff in groups of 100 or 80. I guess I could have just done the 81 and done three of the expert mission things, but... But even if I had the things, I still need to wait for next week anyway, because I don't have the weekly materials yet. I think I already did my weekly boss fights, so I can't level up Suna's skill, her base skill, her core passive any further until next week. So there's no real point in doing the expert one, although I guess I could have. Okay, there we go. That's enough for that. I don't have stamina for anything else, and I think that's going to be it for today. So tomorrow I will continue that a little bit more. Maybe wrap it up. I'm not 100% sure how much more there is. But yeah, see, I don't have the materials for it. and I need to do the double expert one twice more. So I just need 160. But either way, fill that up. That's her main thing. Okay, so I'm low on that. And these things still need to level up, so. But yeah, generally I get the priority one, I might crown. Secondary priority, I get it to level 11, and then only if needed, I usually get to level 7. Basically, once they start needing the purple materials, I'll use them. And then only for, like, actual proper DPS, like, it's not her. I want to go down. Well, actually, her is a good example. Only for her, like, I crowned multiple things for her, but even her dodge is still that. I might level her dodge up to max, too. Like, for her. I level up everything that she could potentially use, and I guess I didn't really need to, honestly, I really didn't really need to do that. It's probably a stupid idea to level up this. But I could level this up to 11, at the very least. Yeah, like this is kind of what I normally do, is that her basic and core is a priority, so I could crown her priority. And all her secondary ones I erased just below the cost, and then the only one that was only if needed left down. That's kind of what I usually do. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.